Pokémon Horizons just exploded back into our lives with 2 brand new episodes in one day, and they were absolutely insane, showing us the aftermath of Friede's death and the 1-year time skip. There is so much to talk about, things I never ever imagined would happen in Pokémon Horizons. So in this video, let's review episode 90, and then in tomorrow's video, we'll review episode 91. Review videos 2 days in a row, baby! Feel free to like and subscribe if you enjoy, and now let's dive into it. Episode 90 began with Dot at home using her computers to direct Cap, Roy and Crocalor towards a wild Pokemon that may be infected by Lucario. And man, it's so strange seeing him again knowing this is all 1 year after the previous arc. It's actually crazy that a time skip happened. The more I think about it, the more I can't believe it, dude. Roy has an inner monologue about how he's a trainer on a journey solving the mysteries of Pokemon, and his dream is still to reunite with the Black Rayquaza from a year ago. Roy spots a Slacking surrounded by the Lucario mist, and that's the target, dude. Then Roy's rival arrives, Urito, who we all originally thought was called Alt, but thankfully now we all know his name is actually Urito. Urito comes across quite cocky and a little bit annoying, so Roy keeps trying to free himself from Urito, but Urito always catches up. And he has the same dream as Roy too, catching the Black Rayquaza. Man, it's so perfect that Urito's dream would be the same as Roy's, cause Urito is really coming across as a character who just wants to annoy Roy over and over. So him having the same dream is so funny. So Roy shows his maturity by not arguing back, and instead just focusing on his quest to investigate the Lucario slacking. But even Urito's Sableye is a little menace and tries to annoy Crocalor. Man, I already love Urito and Sableye. They really are such little chaos gremlins, dude. And Sableye's in my top 5 favourite Pokemon of all time, so that's a massive W. Urito and Roy watch the slacking from a distance, but then Sableye is silly goofy a little bit too close to the sun, and he ends up accidentally waking up the slacking, who begins raging. So Roy and Urito are forced to battle it, but at first all their attacks are doing absolutely nothing. It was really cool though to see Kilowattrel and Crocalor being so close that they save each other now and battle together now. Man, what a difference from when they first met at the beginning of the series when they would fight all the time. Sableye attacks too, but slacking just shakes it off and becomes surrounded by even more Lucario mist. And then Roy once again shows his newfound maturity by realizing that slacking, in its rage, could end up hurting all of the wild Pokemon of the forest. So Roy sends Crocalor and Kilowattrel to evacuate and protect those wild Pokemon. Man, this is the kind of maturity and care that I love to see from Roy. It's so clear already just how much he's grown throughout the time skip. Roy then sends out his shiny Lucario, and man, the background music in this scene had me so hyped. The new shiny effect is so beautiful too, and Lucario looks so cool. I can't wait to see their backstory and how they met in the future, hopefully. Roy then begins Mega Evolving his Lucario, and this sequence was so cinematic. Urito begins Mega Evolving his Sableye too, and this was just as beautiful visually speaking. Lucario uses Metal Claw, Cap uses Thunder Punch, Sableye uses Sucker Punch, and hey, I guess with how big slacking is, you could really say they're punching above their weight. That really wasn't funny. Anyway, slacking then begins charging up an overwhelmingly powerful pink attack, and I think it might be like a Hyper Beam, but infused with the power of Lucario, dude. And when it unleashes it, it causes utter devastation, destroying the entire forest ahead. That's the power of Lucario, man. And Roy realizes it's gotta be Lucario too. Slacking then charges another one up, but Urito's Sableye manages to absorb it with this big Mega Crystal shield. And that really shows that yeah, Urito may be a gremlin, but he's a really good battler too, because he knew that Sableye as a ghost-type Pokemon would be able to nullify a normal-type move like that, assuming it is a Hyper Beam, obviously. Roy's Lucario then uses a really powerful close combat, and Urito's Sableye follows up with Confuse Ray, confusing the giant gorilla. I don't know, is Slacking a gorilla or a sloth or a hybrid? I don't know, man. And then Cap finishes the job with his signature Volt Tackle, taking down Slacking. That evening, Roy and Dot video call about Slacking being infected by Lucario, and they're understandably confused because they thought they erased all of the Lucario a year ago in Luqua. But it does seem that defeating Slacking freed it from the Lucario, so that's good. And then Dot's mum interrupts the tension with pancakes, which really made me laugh. That's such a mother thing, you know? Roy remembers they made a promise to Lucius that they would free the world from Lucario, so he says that clearly they still have a job to do, a promise to fulfill, even without the Rising Volt Tacklers being together. So he knows that he has to go and get Liko. The next morning, Uruto wakes up and Roy has left him behind again, which leaves Uruto raging. Man, that's so funny, I love how it's a recurring thing. Uruto pestering Roy and Roy repeatedly leaving him behind. I love their dynamic. Meanwhile, in Kanto at the Indigo Academy, Liko and Anne are in class. Anne's Dewar is now a Samurott, which is really dope, man. I still feel like Hisuian Samurott would have fit her design way better, but we always knew that was unrealistic. Liko heads to battle training while we get a brief reintroduction to her school, and it showcased a lot of middle stage starter Pokemon. I guess it's to emphasize that there's been a time skip, because now Liko and everyone else are second year students. And there's a whole new batch of first year students joining the school, with all of their little baby starter Pokemon. I really love that because it's not very often that the middle stages get much attention at all, and Liko being a second year student now really does show how much thought the writers are putting into every part of the series after the time skip. That night, Liko and Anne are having fun in their dorm, but as it gets later and darker, Liko is emotionally staring at an old picture of her with the rising Voltaclers. You can really feel the heartbreak, dude. It's so clear that she's still caught up on everything that happened, how everything ended. And then she comforts Pogogo's Pokeball, because seemingly Pogogo has been dormant for a while. The very next day, we finally get another Nidothing livestream. I feel like we haven't seen one in so many episodes. And Nidothing is using her platform for good. She's telling the world about how wild Pokemon have been acting weirdly and using strange moves, and that if anyone sees one then they should send a video of it to Nidothing. I really love that idea, dude. Dot using her celebrity live streamer status to get information about Laqueum-infested Pokemon is so smart, and it really ties Nidothing into the story so much stronger than it has in a while. And then she does the same for legendary or rare Pokemon too. I'm guessing that's so they can try and track down the 6 hero Pokemon too. Anne is watching that stream near her newly evolved Sandslash, and then Liko and Anne begin training with Samurott repeatedly slicing Meowscarada's flower bombs, and Anne is revealed to have studied at the Blueberry Academy at some point in the past year. That's so random, but such an amazing little nod, man. I believe it's the first time the Blueberry Academy has ever been mentioned by name in the anime, and I'm hoping this is setting up Liko and Roy going there at some point in the future, and we better finally see Kieran too. Anne is also on the path to competing in the Pokemon League, and it's really interesting that Horizons is bringing this up. The Pokemon League is so heavily tied into Ash and Ash's journey. Like, dude, literally any character relevant to the Pokemon League is probably someone that Ash met. So I wonder if we'll see any familiar faces that we recognize through Anne in the future. That'd be awesome, dude. Later on, 2 of Liko's friends are talking about Spinel, the president of Exceed, and they fully believe everything Spinel is claiming, including how apparently the rising Voltaclers damaged the Laqua Paradise, and apparently that's what's causing the Pokemon to rampage around the world. Liko is clearly heartbroken here in this, knowing it's all lies, but she stays quiet because no one at school knows that she was a member of the rising Voltaclers. But we all know Anne, on the other hand, absolutely cannot stay quiet, so Anne is angry and interrupts them, yelling that they know nothing on the matter. And dude, I didn't know I could love Anne's character any more than I already do, but seeing her having Liko's back here, defending the rising Voltaclers, it made me so happy. Liko and Anne really are true best friends, and I pray this is enough to finally stop the Anne is a traitor theory. Later on, Liko is on the school rooftop thinking about what happened to Friede a year ago and how they never found him. But then, from the sky above, a familiar voice suddenly yells out, "I found you, Liko!" And it's our boy, Roy! Liko is absolutely stunned, and Roy comes flying down towards her. And Roy may be more mature now, but he does still have that silly goofy side too, as he landed very heavily and shocked himself from the impact. Liko and Roy are so happy to see each other again, and Roy is ready to tell Liko all about the Laqueum. But then 3 other girls, students at the school, suddenly appear on the rooftop, and they all begin blushing looking at Roy. They're wondering who he is, where he came from. They think our boy Roy looks pretty cool. The girls then see Liko with Roy, and they begin questioning whether Roy is Liko's friend, and Liko begins sweating nervously, trying to shut it down, while Roy is kind of oblivious to the whole thing. Dude, I can't believe it! Roy really has grown up to be a Chad. His sheer presence and aura alone had all the the girls crushing on him and blushing at him. That's so funny, dude, I love it. And I feel like the way they said that he could be Liko's friend, it kinda makes me feel like the students think he could be Liko's boyfriend. I might be wrong, it's kinda hard to pick up on subtle things like that when there's a language barrier in the way, but it really did give me those kind of vibes. And Liko's reaction to it felt that way too. She knew there was a hint of romance going on. So whether this entire scene was just the girls crushing on Roy, or whether it was maybe dropping a little shipping hints between Liko and Roy, I'm all here for it, man, either way. These kind of elements really do make Roy feel way more mature and older, you know? It works perfectly after the time skip. So that's where episode 90 ended. Like I said, I'll be reviewing episode 91 in a video tomorrow, so stay tuned for that one because it's even more crazy than today's one. But now let's talk about my thoughts. First of all, Roy's development was absolutely everything in this episode. He felt way more mature and thoughtful and level-headed than he used to be. It's so clear how much he's grown in the 1-year time skip. And to really drill it in, the writers even gave us the scene with hints of romance at the end. That made me laugh way too much. I also loved the way that Roy's development contrasted Liko's. While Roy throughout the time skip really pushed himself forwards and continued excelling and growing and becoming more confident, Liko on the other hand kind of retreated. She went back to her comfort zone, the Indigo Academy, and while of course she grew too, it wasn't in the same blatant outward way that Roy did. It's kind of like Liko hid away from what happened a year ago, while Roy on the other hand faced it head on. That's such a great contrast between the two of them. Uruto and Sableye are perfect characters to display Roy's growth too. The way they're so chaotic really puts Roy's maturity on full display, and I can't wait to see more of them in the future. The slacking battle was awesome, Dot helping Roy from across the world was awesome, the mentions of Blueberry Academy and the Pokemon League were awesome. All around, this episode was just awesome, dude. It felt like the perfect return episode, exploring what happened a year ago and also showing how our heroes have progressed since then. The only criticism I have of this entire episode is that we didn't see a single bit of Roy's Lucario's personality. Don't get me wrong, Lucario was cool, but I need much more than just cool to be invested in a Pokemon, especially one like Lucario where we've seen a million cool ones in the past. But we are only one episode in, so I'm sure we'll see much more of Lucario's personality in the future. Let me know your thoughts on this episode in the comments below, and consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed. Thank you all so much for 135,000 subscribers, that's so incredible. Come join our Discord server to watch new episodes live every week, and maybe consider becoming a channel member too. That would really make my day, man. Thank you so much to all of my amazing current channel members like Dowpals, Toten, Racco, Juscadia, Jay, Shiny Charm, Blazing Shots, Not Mini, Drew, San. You guys really are legendary. And on that note, I'll see you all in my next review video tomorrow, and best wishes until we meet again!